Good morning slash afternoon slash evening, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something incredibly powerful: developing an unbreakable positive mental attitude. Life will throw challenges, setbacks, and obstacles at us, but how we respond to these situations defines our success and happiness. A positive mental attitude is not just wishful thinking. It's a mindset that empowers us to overcome difficulties, stay motivated, and grow stronger every day. So, how do we develop this mindset? How do we build an attitude so resilient that no matter what life throws at us, we remain positive and forward moving? The answer lies in conscious habits, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth. 1. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating a positive mental attitude. It's not just about saying thank you when someone does something nice. It's a deliberate shift in focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. It's about training your mind to seek out the good in every situation, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. In our daily lives, it's easy to become overwhelmed by stress, responsibilities, or disappointments. Often we find ourselves dwelling on what we don't have, what didn't go our way, or what we wish were different. This constant focus on the negative can subtly but powerfully condition our minds to expect the worst. Over time, it builds a mindset rooted in scarcity, frustration, and even hopelessness. Gratitude, on the other hand, reconditions our mental landscape. When you make a habit of acknowledging the things you're thankful for, whether it's a loving family, good health, the warmth of the sun, or even a moment of peace, you create a sense of abundance. You teach your mind to notice the positives that were always there but often overlooked. This mental shift doesn't just make you feel better emotionally, it actually rewires your brain. Scientific research has shown that practicing gratitude regularly can increase levels of serotonin and dopamine, neurotransmitters responsible for feelings of happiness and motivation. It can lower stress, reduce symptoms of depression, improve sleep, and even enhance your physical health. It's a simple habit, but its impact on your mental and emotional well-being is profound. So how do you practice gratitude effectively? One proven method is to keep a gratitude journal. Each morning or night, write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. Be specific. Instead of writing, "I'm thankful for my job," write, "I'm grateful that my boss complimented my hard work today." Specificity helps anchor the emotion and makes the moment more meaningful. Another powerful technique is verbal gratitude. Make it a point to express appreciation to the people around you: family, friends, colleagues, even strangers. Saying thank you with intention can uplift not only your own spirit but also strengthen your relationships, which in turn reinforces your positive mental environment. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your problems or pretending that life is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what is good and working in your life, rather than being consumed by what's missing or broken. Even during tough times, there's always something to be grateful for: a lesson learned, a person who stood by you, or simply the strength you discovered within yourself. When you anchor your daily mindset in gratitude, you build emotional resilience. You train yourself to see opportunity where others see only obstacles. You cultivate patience, optimism, and inner peace. Over time, gratitude becomes not just a habit, but a way of life, and a foundational element of an unbreakable positive mental attitude. 2. Control your inner dialogue. Your inner dialogue, the constant stream of thoughts running through your mind, has an enormous impact on how you feel, how you act, and ultimately who you become. It's the voice that narrates your life, interprets your experiences, and shapes your beliefs. Controlling this inner voice is crucial if you want to develop an unbreakable positive mental attitude. Most people are unaware of just how powerful their self-talk is. They let it run wild, repeating negative beliefs and doubts that were formed through past failures, criticism, or fear. These thoughts often sound like, "I'm not good enough," "I always mess things up," or "there's no point in trying." Left unchecked, this negative inner dialogue becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It creates a mental environment where hope struggles to survive and where confidence and motivation erode over time. But here's the empowering truth: you can change that inner dialogue. You can retrain your mind to speak to you with kindness, strength, and encouragement. The first step is awareness. Begin noticing the tone and content of your self-talk, especially during challenging moments. When you make a mistake, do you berate yourself or do you offer understanding? When you face a new opportunity, do you say, "I can handle this"? Or do you shrink with self-doubt? Once you're aware, the next step is to intentionally reframe negative thoughts. Let's say your inner voice says, "I'll never be able to do this." Instead of accepting it, pause and counter it with a more empowering statement like, "This is difficult, but I'm learning and getting better every day." The goal isn't to lie to yourself or pretend everything is perfect, but to choose thoughts that support your growth rather than sabotage it. One effective technique for managing your inner dialogue is to use positive affirmations. These are short, powerful statements that reflect the mindset you want to build. Phrases like "I am capable," "I deserve success," or "I rise above challenges" can help reshape your mental patterns. When repeated regularly, especially when said out loud or written down, they begin to sink in and become part of your core beliefs. Visualization also helps reinforce positive self-talk. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding and handle challenges confidently, your brain starts to accept this as a possible reality. Combined with supportive inner dialogue, visualization builds belief, motivation, and resilience. Another powerful habit is talking to yourself as you would a close friend. If your friend made a mistake or felt discouraged, you wouldn't insult them or tell them to give up. You'd offer support, remind them of their strengths, and encourage them to keep going. Practice offering that same compassion and belief to yourself. This shift from harsh self-criticism to kind self-guidance can drastically improve your emotional well-being and mental strength. Remember, your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you constantly feed it doubt and negativity, it will reflect that in your feelings and behavior. But if you choose to speak to yourself with hope, strength, and self-respect, you begin to unlock the power of an unbreakable positive mental attitude. It doesn't mean that negative thoughts will never appear. They will, but controlling your inner dialogue means refusing to let those thoughts dominate your mindset or define your reality. 3. Surround yourself with positivity. The people and environments we expose ourselves to on a regular basis have a profound effect on our mindset. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly absorbing the energy, attitudes, and behaviors of those around us. If you want to develop and maintain an unbreakable positive mental attitude, it's essential to be intentional about the influences in your life. Think of your mind like a garden. What grows in it depends largely on what is planted there and how it's nurtured. If you constantly allow negative people, toxic environments, or discouraging messages to take root, they will eventually overrun your thoughts like weeds. Over time, they choke your optimism, confidence, and drive. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with positive influences provides your mental garden with sunlight, water, and nourishment. It helps your mindset grow strong and resilient. Start with the people you spend time with. Are they supportive, encouraging, and driven, or do they constantly complain, gossip, and focus on problems instead of solutions? It's often said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is because energy is contagious. If you're around motivated, kind, and forward-thinking individuals, their attitude will rub off on you. They'll challenge you to rise, not drag you down. Now, this doesn't mean you need to cut everyone out of your life who isn't perpetually cheerful. Life is about relationships, empathy, and understanding, but it does mean creating boundaries. Protect your mental space. If someone consistently brings negativity into your life and resists change or growth, it's okay to limit your interactions with them for the sake of your own well-being. Beyond people, think about the content you consume. What kind of news do you watch? What books, podcasts, or social media are you absorbing every day? If your daily media diet is filled with fear, drama, or outrage, it will influence your thoughts and emotions more than you might think. Instead, seek out content that uplifts you, educates you, and aligns with the mindset you want to cultivate. Watch motivational talks, listen to inspiring interviews, and read books on personal development and success. Even your physical environment plays a role in shaping your mindset. Is your home or workspace cluttered, chaotic, or draining? Or is it organized, clean, and filled with things that bring you joy or inspiration? A peaceful, uplifting space supports a peaceful, uplifted mind. Simple changes, like adding plants, playing calming music, or putting up inspirational quotes, can make a big difference in how you feel and think throughout the day. It's also important to participate in communities that encourage growth. Join groups, whether in person or online, where people share your interests, values, or goals. Surrounding yourself with a community that's focused on positivity, achievement, and mutual support can be a powerful motivator and a reminder that you're not alone on your journey. Ultimately, developing a positive mental attitude isn't just about what goes on inside your mind. It's also about curating your external world so it supports and enhances that mindset. Being surrounded by positivity doesn't mean avoiding reality or pretending that bad things don't exist. It means choosing to place yourself in environments and relationships that fuel your strength rather than drain it. By doing so consistently, you'll find it much easier to maintain a mindset that's not only positive but unshakably strong. 4. Set clear, achievable goals. Having clear, meaningful goals is one of the most important drivers of a positive mental attitude. Goals provide direction. They give your efforts purpose and your day's structure. Without them, it's easy to drift through life reacting to circumstances rather than creating a future with intention. A mind without a target often becomes a mind filled with doubt, confusion, and frustration. Setting goals does more than just help you achieve things. It builds your confidence and fuels your optimism. When you have something you're working toward, you feel a sense of progress. Even small steps forward can significantly boost your morale. Progress is one of the most powerful psychological motivators, and it naturally supports a more positive outlook on life. But not all goals are created equal. To truly support a strong mental attitude, goals need to be clear, realistic, and meaningful to you. Vague goals like "I want to be successful" or "I want to be happy" are difficult for the mind to grasp or act upon. Clear goals, on the other hand, like "I will complete an online course in the next 60 days," or "I will walk 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week," are specific, measurable, and actionable. They provide you with a roadmap and milestones to track your growth. Another important aspect is breaking big goals into smaller, manageable tasks. A massive goal like starting a business or losing a significant amount of weight can be overwhelming if viewed as a single objective. But when you break it into daily or weekly actions, such as researching your niche, saving a certain amount per week, or committing to a new habit, you make it achievable. Each small win you accumulate reinforces the belief that you're capable and on the right path. When you set achievable goals and hit them, even if they're small, you build momentum. This momentum reinforces your belief in yourself and keeps your mindset energized. Every goal you accomplish becomes evidence that you are moving forward, that you are in control of your life, and that you can make positive changes. This is a key foundation for mental resilience and positivity. It's also essential to set goals that are aligned with your values and passions. When your goals reflect what truly matters to you, not just what looks good on paper or what others expect, you'll naturally feel more inspired and driven. Passion provides emotional fuel, and that fuel helps you stay positive even when the path gets tough. However, there will be setbacks. Not every goal will be achieved in the time frame you expect. Sometimes you'll need to pivot, readjust, or even start over. This is where your mindset is truly tested, but the beauty of having goals is that they create a long-term perspective. When you're goal-oriented, you see obstacles not as dead ends but as detours. You learn to view failure as part of the process, and this perspective keeps your attitude steady and constructive. Lastly, remember to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Taking time to acknowledge your wins reinforces a sense of accomplishment and creates positive emotional associations with the journey. You begin to enjoy the process of growth itself, not just the outcome. This shift in focus from outcome-based happiness to progress-based fulfillment is what makes your positive mental attitude durable and long-lasting. 5. Learn from failure's failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. Many people view it as something to be ashamed of, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is an essential part of it. Those who develop an unbreakable positive mental attitude understand that failure is not a dead end, but a stepping stone on the path to growth and achievement. When you adopt a mindset that sees failure as feedback, you remove the fear and shame that often paralyze people after a setback. Instead of internalizing failure as a reflection of your worth or abilities, you begin to see it as a learning opportunity, a necessary teacher that provides valuable insights. Every failure holds lessons about what didn't work, what needs improvement, and what adjustments you can make moving forward. People with a strong, positive mental attitude don't deny failure. They face it head on, analyze it, and extract wisdom from it. They ask themselves questions like, what did I learn from this? What would I do differently next time? How can I grow from this experience? These questions shift the focus from self-blame to self-improvement, and that shift is the hallmark of emotional resilience. It's also important to remember that failure builds character. Every time you fall and get back up, you become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. Think about some of the most successful and influential people in history: Thomas Edison, Oprah Winfrey, J.K. Rowling, Steve Jobs. They all encountered repeated failures before achieving their goals. What set them apart was not that they never failed, but that they never gave up. They turned their failures into fuel. Moreover, failure teaches humility and empathy. When you go through a difficult experience, you gain a deeper understanding of struggle, and this can make you more compassionate toward others facing similar situations. That human connection can further strengthen your outlook and your relationships, creating a support system that reinforces positivity in your life. It's also crucial to redefine what failure really means. Society often defines it narrowly as not reaching a desired outcome, but what if failure was simply the process of experimentation? What if every failed attempt was just another step closer to finding what works? When you adopt that perspective, you remove the emotional weight of failure and start to embrace it as part of the creative, evolutionary process of becoming your best self. However, learning from failure requires emotional maturity and self-awareness. It means resisting the urge to quit, to wallow in self-pity, or to lash out in frustration. Instead, it demands reflection, patience, and the willingness to grow. You must allow yourself to feel the disappointment because it's natural, but not let it consume you. Let it move through you and then begin the work of rebuilding, stronger and smarter than before. In developing a positive mental attitude, it's essential to normalize failure. Expect it. Welcome it as a sign that you're pushing your boundaries and striving for more. People who never fail are usually people who never take risks. But if you're pursuing goals that challenge you, there will be missteps. And that's a good thing. It means you're alive, you're trying, and you're evolving. The key is to keep going. Don't let a single event define your narrative. Let it inform your journey, not derail it. Each time you rise after falling, you're not just getting closer to your goal. You're building the kind of mindset that can't be broken by setbacks. You're becoming the kind of person who thrives through adversity, who welcomes growth, and who stays positive even when the path gets rocky. 6. Practice mindfulness and stress management in today's fast-paced, high-pressure world. Stress is nearly unavoidable. Deadlines, responsibilities, financial concerns, relationship dynamics, all these can place a heavy burden on our mental well-being. And when stress accumulates, it becomes harder to maintain a positive attitude. That's why developing an unbreakable positive mental attitude requires more than just willpower. It requires tools and habits that help you stay centered, calm, and resilient under pressure. This is where mindfulness and stress management come into play. Practicing mindfulness means becoming more aware of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings in the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your inner world with curiosity rather than criticism. When you cultivate this awareness, you gain the ability to pause before reacting, to breathe through discomfort, and to choose your responses instead of being ruled by them. The human mind is naturally restless. It constantly jumps between regrets of the past and worries about the future. This mental noise feeds anxiety and robs you of peace, but mindfulness brings you back to the present, the only moment you truly have. By anchoring yourself in the now, you reduce mental clutter and create space for clarity, gratitude, and positivity to emerge. One of the simplest and most powerful ways to practice mindfulness is through breath awareness. Just taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breathing can significantly lower stress levels. When your breath slows, your nervous system calms down, your heart rate steadies, your racing thoughts begin to settle. In that stillness, you reconnect with yourself, and from that place of calm, it becomes much easier to access a positive mindset. Meditation is another foundational practice for building mental strength and emotional resilience. Contrary to popular belief, meditation isn't about emptying your mind or achieving some mystical state. It's about being present, noticing your thoughts without being controlled by them. Over time, meditation strengthens your ability to observe negative thinking patterns, gently detach from them, and return to a place of balance. Just 10-15 minutes a day can make a noticeable difference in your overall mood, focus, and mental clarity. Stress management also includes physical practices. Your body and mind are deeply connected. Regular exercise, whether it's walking, yoga, swimming, or weight training, releases endorphins, the body's natural mood elevators. It also reduces the level of stress hormones like cortisol, helping you feel more relaxed and positive throughout the day. Even small amounts of movement can shift your emotional state and improve your outlook. Don't overlook the importance of sleep and nutrition in managing stress. Chronic sleep deprivation amplifies anxiety, irritability, and negative thinking. A rested mind is much better equipped to deal with life's challenges positively and constructively. Similarly, the food you eat affects your mood more than you might realize. A diet rich in whole, nutrient-dense foods supports brain health and emotional stability, while excessive sugar, caffeine, and processed foods can contribute to mood swings and low energy. Another essential aspect of stress management is setting healthy boundaries. Often, people become overwhelmed because they take on too much, say yes when they mean no, or stretch themselves too thin trying to meet everyone's expectations. Learning to protect your time, energy, and emotional space is not selfish. It's necessary for mental well-being. When you honor your limits, you preserve the energy required to stay positive and present. Journaling is also a powerful practice for managing stress and maintaining mindfulness. Writing down your thoughts helps you process emotions, identify patterns, and release mental tension. It creates a private space where you can reflect, gain insight, and find solutions. Over time, journaling becomes a mirror that reveals your inner world, and it can serve as a powerful tool for self-awareness and growth. Ultimately, mindfulness and stress management are not about avoiding challenges. They're about responding to them with awareness and grace. They give you the internal tools to weather storms without losing your emotional footing. When you make these practices a regular part of your life, you develop a deeper sense of calm, control, and clarity. This mental and emotional stability becomes the fertile ground where a positive attitude can take root and thrive, even in the face of adversity. 7. Be grateful every day. Gratitude is one of the most powerful yet underutilized tools for cultivating a positive mental attitude. It's not just a feel-good emotion. It's a mental discipline, a perspective, and a way of life that can radically shift how you experience the world. When practiced consistently, gratitude reshapes the way your mind interprets your circumstances, helps you focus on what's going well rather than what's lacking, and builds emotional resilience that makes your mindset harder to break, even in tough times. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in what we don't have, what's going wrong, or what's not yet achieved. The human brain is naturally wired to focus on problems. It's a survival mechanism that helped our ancestors stay alert to danger. But in modern life, this tendency can lead to chronic dissatisfaction, anxiety, and negativity if left unchecked. Gratitude interrupts this cycle by training your mind to recognize the good in your life, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. Rather, it means making a conscious choice to acknowledge and appreciate what is working, what brings you joy, and what you can be thankful for even during difficult periods. This subtle shift in attention can completely transform your emotional state. Gratitude moves your focus from a sense of scarcity to one of abundance. It turns "I don't have enough" into "I already have more than I realize." One of the simplest and most effective ways to practice gratitude is by keeping a daily gratitude journal. Each day, write down at least 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Sometimes, the smallest moments bring the most light. A smile from a stranger, the warmth of sunlight on your face, a hot cup of coffee, or even just the breath in your lungs. These moments, when acknowledged, can bring real joy and perspective. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to look for the good in every situation. Gratitude also helps you build stronger relationships. When you express appreciation to others, whether it's thanking a coworker for their help, telling a friend how much they mean to you, or acknowledging a family member's support, you strengthen emotional bonds and foster a positive atmosphere around you. These positive social interactions reinforce your own mindset and create a ripple effect of kindness and connection. In challenging times, gratitude becomes a powerful anchor. When everything feels uncertain or overwhelming, returning to gratitude reminds you of the constants in your life, the things that still bring comfort, hope, or meaning. It might be your health, your loved ones, your inner strength, or your faith. By focusing on what remains rather than what's been lost, you find stability in the storm. Scientific research consistently shows that people who regularly practice gratitude experience lower levels of stress and depression, greater overall happiness, stronger immune function, and better sleep. Gratitude is not just a spiritual or emotional exercise. It has real, measurable benefits on your physical and mental well-being. It's also important to practice self-gratitude, to appreciate your own efforts, growth, and accomplishments. Many people are quick to acknowledge the success of others while ignoring or minimizing their own. But when you take time to be grateful for your perseverance, your courage, your kindness, and your willingness to keep going, you build internal validation and self-worth. This inner sense of appreciation becomes a deep reservoir of positivity that doesn't depend on external praise or approval. Gratitude is a mindset you can choose every single day. It's not dependent on your circumstances. It's a habit of attention. And the more you train your mind to notice the good, the more good you'll begin to see. Gratitude shifts your entire narrative, from a life that happens to you to a life you get to experience. It transforms ordinary moments into sacred ones and teaches you that even in difficulty, there is always something to be thankful for.